Airports look harmless. Bright lights, clear signs, and everyone moving with purpose. But here's the truth. The entire system is built to confuse you, drain your wallet, and keep you waiting. What if I told you that behind every overpriced coffee, every random delay, and even that seat you thought was locked in, there's a hidden trick airports don't want you to notice? Today, I'm exposing 15 secrets that seasoned travelers use to beat the system. And once you learn them, you'll never look at airports the same way again. Most travelers think that once they pick a seat during booking, that's it. Game over. They're locked into whatever the airline gave them. But here's the truth. Airlines are constantly reshuffling seats, sometimes right up until the boarding doors close, and very few people realize how to take advantage of it. Here's why it happens. Airlines are juggling a moving puzzle. People cancel flights at the last minute. Elite members get upgraded into business or first class, which frees up premium economy seats. Families ask to be reseated together, opening unexpected spots in better rows. Sometimes, the airline even blocks certain seats during booking and only releases them in the final hours before departure. That means the seat map you saw when you bought your ticket is not the same seat map you'll see a day before takeoff. So, how do you use this to your advantage? You reload the seat map at key moments. The first checkpoint is exactly 24 hours before departure, when online check-in opens. That's when the system reshuffles, and previously unavailable seats suddenly appear. The second checkpoint is the morning of your flight, because overnight cancellations can unlock better spots. And the final window is at the gate itself. If you're polite and proactive, you can ask the agent if any premium economy or exit row seats have opened up. Sometimes they'll move you at no extra cost just to balance weight or seating. Want to level this hack up even further? Use seat intel tools like Seat Guru or even airline-specific forums. These tell you which seats are gold mines, extra legroom, fewer neighbors, better recline, and which ones are nightmares, like seats near the bathroom or missing a window. If you're refreshing the map, you don't just want any open seat, you want the best open seat. The best part? You don't have to pay extra. You're not buying an upgrade, you're just catching the system at the right moment. A quick refresh can transform a cramped middle seat into a spacious exit row. It's like upgrading your flight for free, and the airline can't really stop you. Now here's the kicker. Most people never check again after booking. They just show up, sit down, and suffer. But if you make seat map refreshing a habit, it'll feel like you've unlocked a cheat code every single time you fly. And once you score that first row seat without paying an extra dime, you'll wonder why no one ever told you this before. But better seats are just the start. What if I told you that even the lounges, the ones most travelers walk past thinking they're off limits, might already be yours without you even knowing? When most travelers walk past those sleek glass doors marked Lounge Access Only, they assume it's for the rich, the VIPs, or the people flying in first class. But here's the twist. Many of those lounges are already included in what you're paying for, and you probably don't even know it. Airports want you to believe lounges are off limits because it makes the premium experience look exclusive. But the truth is, there are dozens of ways in. One of the easiest? Credit and debit cards. Many travel cards secretly come bundled with lounge memberships like Priority Pass, Plaza Premium, or airline-specific clubs. And you don't even have to pay extra. Just swipe your card at the door, and suddenly you're in a quiet space with free food, faster Wi-Fi, and way fewer screaming kids. And it doesn't stop there. Airlines sometimes hand out lounge passes when they oversell flights, or they include them in hidden promos when you book through certain websites. Even a basic economy ticket can unlock lounge entry if you know where to look. And if all else fails, day passes are often available for less than the price of an airport meal and a coffee. Think about that. Would you rather spend $30 on a sandwich and a soda at the gate, or spend the same amount to get unlimited food, drinks, and peace inside the lounge? Here's the real power move. Lounges don't just give you comfort, they give you leverage. Agents inside lounges usually have more experience and authority than the stressed-out staff at the gate. So if your flight gets canceled, delayed, or rerouted, the lounge desk is often the fastest place to get rebooked. That one advantage alone can save you hours of stress. Most travelers walk right past these doors without even checking if they're eligible. But once you've stepped inside, tasted the free buffet, and rebooked your flight without waiting in line for an hour, you'll never want to sit in the noisy, overcrowded gate area again. But comfort is only half the battle. The real nightmare for most travelers starts before they even reach the gate right at security. And that's where the next secret changes everything. Security lines are stressful. Immigration lines? Even worse. That's why most people know about TSA PreCheck, the magic lane that lets you keep your shoes on and breeze through security. But here's what almost no one realizes. There's something even better. It's called Global Entry, and it's like TSA PreCheck's older, smarter brother. Here's the deal. Global Entry automatically includes TSA PreCheck, so you get all the benefits at domestic checkpoints. But the real power shows up when you're flying back into the US from another country. While everyone else is waiting in a winding customs line after a long flight, Global Entry lets you walk up to a kiosk, scan your passport, and be out in minutes. No stamps, no forms, no wasted time. It costs only about $20 more than TSA PreCheck, but it's valid for 5 years. Not traveling abroad that often? There's still a hack. The Mobile Passport Control app is an official free alternative at many US airports. You enter your info on your phone, skip the paper forms, and head to designated lanes. It's not as powerful as Global Entry, but for $0, it's an underrated trick. Think of it this way. TSA PreCheck is good, but Global Entry is elite. And if you're not ready to pay, Mobile Passport is like a cheat code that almost nobody is using. But even the fastest ID program won't help you if you pick the wrong line once you're inside security. That's where psychology takes over. Here's the thing nobody tells you. You don't need fancy gadgets to beat security. You just need to understand people. Most travelers naturally drift to the right-hand side when they get to a checkpoint. It's human nature. That means the leftmost lane is often the fastest. But it doesn't stop there. Look at who's in line. Families with strollers and giant suitcases? Slow? Infrequent travelers fumbling with laptops and water bottles? Slow? The real jackpot is the line full of business travelers. They've got small bags, no liquids, and they know the drill. Want another edge? Prep before you hit the bins. Empty your pockets, pull out your laptop, and stash your liquids so you don't waste time. Security isn't about being lucky, it's about rhythm. If you move smoothly, you'll shave minutes off your wait. And in airports, minutes are everything. But once you're past security, the real treasure hunt begins. Because airports are full of hidden resources if you know where to look. Ever wandered around an airport, desperate to charge your phone, only to find every outlet already taken? Here's the secret. Airports are hiding them everywhere. You just need to know where to look. Check unused gates. Empty terminals often have rows of free outlets with nobody around. Old payphone stations sometimes still have live sockets at the base. Outlets are also tucked behind benches, along the floor near windows, or under seating clusters that look dead. Travelers who know this skip the crowds gathered around the charging hubs and quietly power up in peace. Wi-Fi works the same way. The public network is usually slow and overloaded, but lounges, cafes, and even staff areas run separate networks. Sometimes the passwords are printed near the entrance or even shared online by other travelers. A quick Google search for airport name Wi-Fi password can save you from slow connections. And here's the simplest money saver. Bring an empty bottle. TSA bans full bottles, but empty ones are fine. Most airports now have refill stations or fountains past security. Why pay $5 for water when you can get it free, cold, and unlimited? These aren't small wins, they're sanity savers. And once you find your own hidden corner with power, Wi-Fi, and water, you'll wonder how everyone else is still suffering in the crowd. Saving money is great, but saving your ticket, that's priceless. Here's a trick airlines hope you never learn. The 24-hour rule. For most U.S. flights, if you book directly with the airline and your departure is at least a week away, you can cancel within 24 hours for a full refund. No penalty, no questions asked. Why does this matter? Because it gives you freedom. Let's say you book a flight today and tomorrow you find the same ticket cheaper. Most people think they're stuck. But if you book direct, you can cancel the old ticket and grab the cheaper one. Same trip, less money. Even better, some airlines let you put a ticket on hold for 24 hours without paying at all. That means you can lock in a price while you keep shopping around. Most travelers have no idea this exists, and airlines aren't going to advertise it. But once you know, it's like having a free insurance policy every time you book. But even with the perfect ticket, one small detail could still ground your entire trip, and it's coming soon. Imagine showing up for your flight, bags packed, boarding pass in hand, only to be turned away at security because your ID doesn't meet the new rules. That nightmare is closer than you think. Starting the 7th of May 2025, the TSA will require every traveler in the U.S. to have a real ID-compliant license or another approved document, like a passport. No star on your license? You might not make it past the checkpoint. Millions of travelers are going to get caught off guard, especially people who don't fly often. Don't wait until the last minute. Check your ID now. If it doesn't have that little star, schedule a DMV appointment, or just travel with your passport as backup, because the only thing worse than airport stress is airport stress before you even get inside. But let's say you make it through security. Now comes the biggest gamble of all time. Flight delays aren't random, they're contagious. One late plane causes another, and by the afternoon, the entire schedule is a mess. That's why the smartest travelers always book the earliest flight possible. Morning departures have the highest on-time rates. Planes are already at the airport, crews are fresh, and the air traffic system hasn't had time to clog up. By contrast, evening flights suffer from ripple delays, weather backups, and exhausted crews. That's why red-eyes and late departures often end in cancellations or long waits. Yes, waking up at 4 a.m. isn't fun. But would you rather lose a little sleep or lose an entire day stuck at the airport? For travelers in the know, early flights aren't optional. They're survival. But here's the twist. Sometimes, even when your flight looks on time, it isn't. Ever notice how your flight arrives early, but you don't actually get home faster? That's because airlines use a trick called schedule padding. They deliberately add extra minutes to flight times so they can claim better on-time performance. A flight that should take 90 minutes might be listed as 2 hours. So even if the plane lands late, on paper it still looks on time. For you, this has two consequences. One, you might think you have a generous connection window when you really don't. And two, you might land early, only to sit on the tarmac waiting for a gate. It's all about optics. Smart travelers check the historical flight time for their route websites like FlightAware show the real averages. That way, you don't get tricked by padding. And sometimes, knowing your flight usually lands early can help you score a same-day standby upgrade. But padding isn't the only way airlines squeeze you. The next trick costs travelers millions every year. Not long ago, you could sneak an oversized bag onto the plane without much trouble. Airlines are cracking down hard on carry-ons, and it's not just about space. Some carriers literally pay bonuses to staff who catch oversized bags at the gate. That's right, agents have incentives to make you check your bag, which means more fees for the airline. And in Europe, regulators have even fined airlines for unfair baggage charges, proving just how widespread the abuse has become. So, what does this mean for you? It means you need to play by the exact rules. Measure your bag, including the wheels and handle. Know the weight limit for your fare. And if you're flying ultra-low-cost carriers, assume they'll be strict. Wear your heaviest clothes. Use a compressible backpack as your personal item. The crackdown isn't going away, so the only way to beat it is to stay one step ahead. And speaking of staying ahead, sometimes the system owes you money, and you don't even have to ask. Here's something new. The U.S. Department of Transportation now requires airlines to issue automatic refunds when flights are canceled or significantly changed. That means no more fighting with chatbots or waiting months for vouchers. If you don't accept the new schedule, you're entitled to your money back automatically. The same applies to bag fees. If your checked bag is delayed beyond the promised delivery time, you can get your fee refunded. And if you're flying in Europe, the famous EU 261 rule can pay you hundreds of euros for long delays or cancellations, depending on distance and circumstances. Here's the kicker. Airlines aren't going to volunteer this information, but the law is on your side. Screenshot the airline's customer service commitments, and if something goes wrong, you'll have proof. Knowing your rights can turn a disaster into compensation. But while protecting your wallet is smart, protecting your identity is even smarter. Ever post a boarding pass selfie before a trip? It feels harmless, just proof that you're off on an adventure. But here's the danger. That little barcode on your pass contains way more information than you think. Scammers can scan it and pull up your booking details, frequent flyer number, and even parts of your travel history. In some cases, it's enough to mess with your reservation. That's why airlines constantly warn, don't post your pass online. Don't even toss it in the trash intact. Shred it, tear it, protect it. And digital isn't foolproof either. Screenshots can be leaked if your phone gets hacked or lost. Stick to official airline apps with biometric locks. It's a tiny step that can save you from a massive headache. And while your ticket holds secrets, so does your luggage. If you've ever stood at baggage claim watching the carousel spin empty, you know the panic. Did your bag make it? Is it lost? Will you ever see it again? Here's the fix. Don't rely on the airline. Track it yourself. Devices like Apple AirTags or Tile trackers slip right inside your suitcase. They're TSA approved and airline legal. And they let you know instantly if your bag made it onto the plane or if it's still sitting back at your departure airport. This isn't just about peace of mind. It gives you leverage. If your bag goes missing, you can tell the airline exactly where it is. That makes recovery faster and forces them to take you seriously. For the price of a dinner out, you buy yourself freedom from baggage anxiety forever. But sometimes, the ticket itself is the trick, and it's riskier than most people realize. This is the hack airlines don't want you to know about: hidden city ticketing. It's when you book a flight with a layover in the city you actually want to visit, then skip the second leg. Sometimes, it's way cheaper than booking the direct flight. Sounds clever, right? Here's the catch. Airlines hate it. They've tried suing websites that promote it. They can cancel your return ticket. In rare cases, they can even flag your frequent flyer account. And if you checked a bag, forget it. That bag is flying all the way to the final destination without you. Yes, people use it. Yes, it can save hundreds. But it's risky. If you try it, book one-way tickets, never check bags, and be ready for pushback. For casual travelers, it's usually not worth the stress. But knowing it exists, that's power. But the simplest secret of all is also the one travelers ignore the most. You've checked in. You're at your gate. Everything looks good. But here's the truth. Gates change all the time, sometimes minutes before boarding. And if you're not paying attention, you could miss your flight while sitting 200 yards away. That's why the smartest travelers never rely on announcements. Instead, they set up push notifications from the airline app. These usually update before the overhead speaker does. Some even buzz your phone before the screens in the terminal refresh. Traveling with others? Make one person the designated gate hawk. It sounds simple, but it saves lives, or at least vacations. Because nothing feels worse than realizing you were in the wrong place at the right time. Airports aren't random. They're a carefully designed system to test your patience, your wallet, and your focus. Most travelers shuffle through on autopilot, overpaying, wasting time, and missing out. But not you. Not anymore. Now you know the seat map refresh trick, the lounge loophole, the 24-hour rule, the refund rights, the ID deadline, and a dozen more secrets the average traveler has no clue about. Combine them, and you stop being the victim of the system. You start being the player. Your next flight won't just be cheaper, it won't just be smoother. It'll feel like you've unlocked a whole new level of travel. And once you fly this way, there's no going back. One last thing. If you or someone you love is over 70, airlines have an entire set of hidden benefits just for seniors' priority perks, discounts, and comfort upgrades nobody talks about. That's a whole other video, and it's one you don't want to miss. Hit subscribe, because next time, I'm pulling back the curtain on the perks airlines hide from the passengers who need them most.